Hi guys, Jonathan here as usual. You know, in almost every photography video you will hear about composition. Think about your framing, apply the rule of thirds, you know, this kind of stuff. It's one of those topics that sound deep, but often stays kind of shallow. And here's the funny thing. Most photographers, even the most experienced ones, tend to ignore one of the most powerful, obvious and simple compositions out there, and it's right in front of us, like literally center composition. For some reason we've been trained to think that putting the subject in the center of our frame is like boring, because it's too easy, it lacks tension, you know. And every beginner book or video or like content in general tells you to avoid the center, to keep everything on the sides, to respect the rule of thirds, that in theory should make everything look more dynamic. But if you ever actually tried to apply it in real life, you know that it doesn't always work like that, the rule of thirds. Because sometimes when you move your subject off center, just because the rule says so, the image loses its strength. It becomes less intentional. And that's basically the point. The center is not boring. The center is powerful and it's strong when used with intention. But now let's take a quick trip back in time. In Renaissance art, central composition was the standard, basically. Think about Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, where Jesus is perfectly centered, like in the center of the frame. Or Raphael's The School of Athens, where the vanishing point falls perfectly between Plato and Aristotle, that are framed symmetrically. And now you may be asking why. Because the center is where our eyes, like scientifically, go first. It's how we, as humans, perceive balance. As I said before, there's even like a science about all of this. Because studies in visual psychology say that basically our brain tends to fixate on the center of an image, of a frame. It's our default scanning point for, I think, for the rest of the of the frame. So basically, when you place your subject there in the center, you're aligning with what like 100% of people see in the end. In other words, putting something in the center, it's not simple, it's rather direct. If you look at cinema, for example, directors use central framing like every time to create a sort of impact. Think, for example, of Stanley Kubrick, 2001, The Shining, or talking about symmetry, also Wes Anderson, who basically built his entire career on geometric compositions and this kind of stuff. Because a centered frame creates a sense of stability, of importance, of stillness, and it tells the viewer this is what matters. So when you use a central composition, you are not being lazy, you are making a statement in some ways, or at least that's how I see it. So I started noticing this in my own work too, and probably that's why I decided to shoot this video, because my favorite shots, some of my favorite shots, the ones that people, not talking about a lot of people, but some people remember that I took, were made like this, basically, with a sort of central composition, with elements in the center. And of course, as usual, at this point you will already have seen some of my pictures during the video. So, just to conclude this whole thing, next time you're out shooting, try to forget about the rule of thirds or putting things off center, and instead try to put your subject like right in the middle of the frame. Then you'll see that your image is not simple, lazy, easy, that is a synonym of simple as well, but it's rather direct, and it's I don't know, strong. With a subject in the center of the frame, it's easy that the image looks stronger, looks more, you know, more powerful. Because the truth is that central composition is not the absence of creativity. It's like the the confidence of it. So guys, thanks for watching as usual. If you want to support this channel, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. I mean, I don't have to explain why it helps with the channel's growth especially. If you want to leave a comment, you're more than welcome. And I don't know, share this video with your photography friends if you feel like that, and see you in the next one. Bye.